Dingus and Dongus.
Hey, Michael.
Episode 21.
That's it. Let's get started.
Yep. Return to Planet Hulk,
Yes.
followed by World War Hulk 2.
Yep. It's written by Greg Pak.
Yep.
It's very different from the original Planet Hulk, and
Vastly inferior,
yeah,
but still, it's all right.
it's a different story.
Yeah.
It's a very different story. So this time around, it's Amadeus Cho who took over the role of Hulk for a brief period.
I have no clue who that person is.
He's a super brainy kid.
I figured as much after reading this.
Yeah, super brainy kid who essentially, befriended Bruce Banner and decided to take the Hulk out of him because it's too much for Bruce to deal with, and then take on the persona of Hulk himself.
Yep. So is he primarily in Hulk stories then, is my understanding?
Yeah,
Okay.
There's a run called The Totally Awesome Hulk, I think.
Which they've referenced in this book I saw. Okay.
Right. But yeah, he was the Hulk for a while Bruce was either depowered or dead.
Yeah.
But I don't know what is actually happening with it right now that Bruce is back as the immortal Hulk. But whatever. It doesn't really matter.
This one has a planet called Sakaar still.
Yeah.
It's Mad Max.
Yeah. It's Mad Max Sakaar.
Yeah.
Same. The weird thing is, I could have sworn Sakaar actually literally blew up.
Right, the planet itself.
Yeah, it exploded.
Yeah.
So I don't know really how this retcon works.
They just glued it back together.
Yeah. But, Sakaar's back. They somehow summon Amadeus Cho Hulk.
Through a portal, right?
Right,
yeah.
right. So this wasn't a random accident this time around. It was deliberate action on the part of the Sakaarians, I suppose.
It was interesting to me because in original Planet Hulk is shot out into space by the Illuminati and all them, right?
Right.
This one, Amadeus chose just sequestering himself.
Yeah.
And then he just gets summoned.
Yep.
He's like, hey, Green Scar, we need you again.
Yeah.
He's like, okay. And then shows up into Mad Max Sakaar instead of Roman Amphitheater Sakaar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's weird parallels and rehash of plot points and stuff in original Planet Hulk. He fought Silver Surfer.
Silver Surfer, yeah.
Right? And now this time he's fighting another ally, Thor.
Right. I thought it was interesting because there's the animation Planet Hulk where he ends up fighting Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah.
And then also one of the panels in this book when he's fighting Thor, he's like, oh, that's my friend, Thor.
Right.
And then gets whomped. In the movies, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Thor says that about Hulk and gets swamped. So it was a nice... Greg Pak had to have written that intentionally.
Right. Well,
or was this before the movie?
I don't know.
Okay.
I wasn't quite sure if the movie was referencing this particular run, or if this run was referencing the movie. I'm not quite sure.
I'm not sure either. I would assume the movie was referencing more original Planet Hulk. But I had to read... we had to read both.
Right.
You can't read Planet Hulk or Return to Planet Hulk without World War Hulk. Right? You just can't.
Yeah, especially if you've read the original. But yeah, I agree with you. Overall, it's a bit of a letdown because the original is so full of just raw fury.
Yes.
That was fantastic. And this is more dealing with a little kid trying to deal with all this immense power that he has.
Right. Well, that's one of the things I did enjoy about this book was the pages and panels within Cho's head himself. Mm-hmm. And he's driving this hot rod car with Hulk in the trunk, right? And it's like a whole separate story inside his head of control and doing what's morally right, not murdering or killing.
Right.
And then Hulk's like, well, dude, sometimes you got to take care of shit.
Right.
Let me take over. It's a battle.
Right.
And it's shown. It's not often you get to see the battle within a Hulk head play out like that.
Right. It's like a discussion of different philosophical points of views, essentially. It's like, is it better to kill one person and save 100, or is it better to never kill, period?
Right. And
that's a tough question.
Yeah. Well, it can be.
It can be.
It can be a tough question.
Depends on who you ask. But overall, the delivery, though,
Meh.
it was... I think part of the issue is it's a recreation of what already happened.
Exactly. And expectations are already astronomical for me in that regard.
Right.
So good luck.
Right. There's nothing necessarily new because all the beats are there.
Right.
So, and like for me, the stuff in on Planet Sakaar was actually kind of cool, just because of that Mad Max feel to it.
Yeah.
But when they get back to Earth, that was just a snooze fest.
World War Hulk 2 was dumb.
Yeah.
It was fucking dumb. That's all I have to say about it.
Right. Like the original World War Hulk, it involved the entire fucking planet.
Yeah.
It was a worldwide thing, whereas this World War Hulk, it's New York with maybe 10 superheroes.
And it's not even a point of contention until halfway through it, I want to say, ish. Then he's like, well, now I'm the leader guy.
Right.
It's like he was doing the things that you expected him to do, and everyone was kind of on board with it, and then he just went a little over the edge, and everyone's like, fuck you!
Right.
And then he snapped out of it real quick.
Yeah, it's really bizarre. Like with the original story, Hulk had a reason.
Yes.
There was a justifiable reason for him to be fucking pissed off and want to obliterate everything, or at least hold those people who are responsible.
Right, accountable. Yeah.
Yeah, with this, it's more like, it feels like Hulk is just upset that people didn't take him seriously.
I suppose, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, Hulk's in control at this point, right? So maybe it's just a weird morph on blind rage that's not too blind.
Yeah.
Power-hungry rage?
I don't know. But it didn't land too well.
Nope.
But, okay. Complete side note. I want to touch on the names of two of the characters.
Okay.
You got Amadeus Cho.
Yeah.
Right? Amadeus Cho and Madame Curie Cho.
Yep.
What the fuck were their parents thinking? Like, that's a lot of fucking pressure to put on your fucking kids.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I can understand Amadeus Cho. That by itself, that's just a weird name. If you have one kid named Amadeus Cho, it's just, okay, weird name, whatever.
Yeah.
But you name the other kid Madame Curie? It's like, no, you know what you're doing. You're setting up...
dick.
Yeah, you're setting up your kids and putting a shit ton of pressure on them, like, the minute they're born.
Right.
And potentially subjecting them to a lot of ridicule when they're growing up.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like, what the fuck?
Come on.
Bad parents. Bad.
Yeah, I don't really have much more to say about it other than read actual Planet Hulk and World War Hulk.
No, I will. Okay, so the end of World War Hulk 2, they did include a bit of the original World War Hulk. Yes. Which honestly just made me like think, I could have been reading that instead.
Right. Right.
But, it was a nice reminder of how cool that fucking story was.
Yes. Well, I'm curious, like, why does this exist? Like, was Greg just really pining to revisit some stuff?
I don't know.
Why? Does it develop further?
It feels like a money grab.
Yeah. It could be. Likely so.
Yeah, it feels like, all right, we got to do something.
We need a Hulk book. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this will shore us up for a couple months.
Right.
So let's do it.
Right.
Yeah. I could see that being the case, actually.
Yeah, it's just one of those. It's one of those, I guess, corporate things.
Yep.
That happens.
Corporate things that happen. Womp, womp, womp.
Speaking of corporate things that happen, our album this time around is Age of Silence, and the album is Acceleration, put out by The End Records. See, I did that because I assumed that we were done talking about comics.
Yes.
And now... But you were giving me, like, a look.
Nope, just keep going.
Okay. It's a fucking weird album.
It is.
The reason why it was a segue is because, as far as I understand, the entire album is a concept album about like some weird ass corporate capitalist dystopia.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That was the segue. Because I used to be a super nerd and studied lyrics and shit, and this album came out right at the time where I was like, oh, I got a different meaning. And
that's what
shit. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I didn't really care for it.
Yeah.
There was, though, really awesome like piano riffs throughout.
There's
I don't know.
Amazing piano riffs.
It's pretty cool.
Like when the pianos like come in, like just the tone of it and what they were actually doing. I fucking love that.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was impressed with that. There was also, I assume it's just synths throughout the kind of
right.
That kind of reminded me of, and I couldn't put my finger on it, either Zelda Dungeon or early Metroid games.
Okay.
And I couldn't figure out which one it was, but it made me think of those early NES games.
Right.
So there's that. I can't say if that's good, bad, or what, but it's a thing.
Right.
And then there was a moment on a song, 90 Degree something.
Angels.
Angels?
Angles.
Okay.
I forgot how do they spell it, but yeah.
One of those, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, there was a part where they were doing layered vocals, but they were kind of, I forget the term, where their vocals are shifted out of sync slightly. And it's kind of like the Mary...
Oh, okay, yeah. Rounds.
Yeah, rounds. Thank you. That sounded really cool.
Yeah.
And then after that, it had this cacophony of different instruments, but they were all in unison rhythm, which... like songs do, but I don't know how, it was different.
Yeah.
And it was rhythmic and awesome sounding.
There's just a lot of just experimental stuff they were fucking around with.
Well, that song in particular, just listen to that song.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess if you had to like just pick only one song to listen to, that'd be a really good one.
I enjoyed that song. I just remember listening to it and kind of being...
What kind of is that?
That's the rhythm guitar sounds like nu metal or gent.
Oh, okay.
It's like this is dumb. There's other stuff going on,
right?
Like beyond that, that's good musicianship, right?
Right.
It's just the rhythm guitar is dumb nu metal sounding.
For the
shit.
most part, the guitars are boring.
Yeah,
they're really boring. I think part of it is because, well, maybe, I don't know. But Andy Winter, who's the keyboard player, this is his project, or one of his projects.
Okay.
And as far as I can tell, like, he came up with most of the music himself.
Gotcha.
So you got a piano player he wants to do a little tinkle, 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 and the guitar is just to add a little punch, which, you know...
Well, it's something to fill up the space while tinkle tinkles are happening.
Yeah, tinkle tinkles. Yeah. It's a tinkle tinkle band. But I don't know, like when this album first came out, like I fucking loved it because there wasn't quite anything out that sounded anything like this.
When was this out? Do you remember? Was it like early 2000s or before that?
Early to mid 2000s.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. This was around. shit, I can't remember. But, this is the period, like, towards the end of The End Records, like, life as a quote-unquote metal label.
Gotcha. Okay.
Where they were signing, I think at the time they had Over on their roster as well.
Well, they put out the latest Terrorizer album.
They did?
The End Records?
Really?
Yeah. Unless there's a different The End Records.
Weird, man.
Yeah, and this was whenever the latest one was.
Like I thought they just like abandoned metal in general and like.
Well, I even emailed them to get a promo copy of it to give away for Mass Destruction.
Yeah.
And they did. So that was cool.
I don't know what to think of The End Record. Like they just do what. Well, they just do whatever.
Yeah.
Which is fine. That's completely awesome that they do whatever the fuck they want to do.
Yep.
It's just, they're just, as a label, they're a amorphous blob of genre.
Yes. So that would explain why they put some weird shit on it.
Yeah.
I had, initially listening to this album, had a difficult time swallowing the vocals, basically. But then it grew on me, and I really ended up enjoying the style after some listens. It reminded me a little of Winter Sword.
Well, it might have something to do with the fact that the vocalist is in Borknagar, while Winter Sword was in Borknagar.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah,
okay.
It's the same dude as Hail Spirit Noir, that guest vocalist. Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lars Nedland, I think is his name. This is actually the album that really got me into him, Lars, as a vocalist.
Okay.
He sounds fucking weird.
Yeah.
He sounds really fucking weird. But there's something really captivating about his delivery.
Absolutely. That's, again, if you've gone into this blind and haven't heard this stuff before, you're going to be thrown off by the vocals.
Mm-hmm.
But if you listen to it a few times, it's going to click.
Yeah.
I promise you, the vocals will be like, oh,
it's like weird, breathy, and layered, and it's just, it's really interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, this album got me into all of his little side projects, including Soulfall, and that's why I got really excited when I heard Hail Spirit Noir had him as a guest vocalist.
Gotcha.
Because like after hearing him on this album, I personally can't get enough of his particular vocal style.
Gotcha.
I think it's fucking cool as shit. Mostly, I think I do have a attraction to like things where it's so itself that you can't get it from anywhere else.
Yeah.
Like I can't think of anybody who sounds like this guy.
So you have to go to this guy.
Yeah.
Whatever his project may be, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very interesting listen. I personally highly recommend it, just because I like the Tinkle Tinkles.
Yes.
and because maybe it's a sunk cost fallacy, but I did spend a lot of time reading the lyrics.
Whatever, man. You're allowed to.
Yeah.
And if you get fulfillment from a fucking album with that, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Because not many do.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it was a fun time for me, like going on forums and like reading other people's thoughts about their interpretations, because like a lot of it is just bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember one thing is like they were mentioning a person named called George Reed, which if you take the abbreviation of the first name plus the last name, it's Greed.
Ah.
Yeah, it's like silly stuff like that. It's like, oh, that's so deep. Holy shit.
Is it? Who knows?
Yeah,
but I want to pretend it is.
Yeah, it makes me feel smart.
Yeah, so do it. Fuck it.
But yeah, that was the fun time of my life.
Yeah.
Just like digging into shit like that and like pretending like it actually means something. Which maybe it does. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it does to you, right?
Not anymore. But
it did to you.
It did.
And that's what matters.
Yeah. What matters is that I enjoyed myself.
Yes.
When I was doing all that stuff.
Right.
And yeah, it was a good way to pass the time. And
then, however many years later, you made me not enjoy myself.
And that in itself is a kind of joy.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, another sidetrack. Andy Winter. Are you familiar with his stuff?
Not by name.
Okay. Have you heard of the band Winds?
No.
You might like that a little more. It's a little less off the wall and just bizarre and more shreddy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's spelled like I would assume it's spelled?
Winds. This is another one of his projects, but like a lot of his stuff is, very keyboard, piano oriented stuff and orchestral just because he's a piano player.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
All right then.
Dingus and Dongus.
Hey, Michael.